Mr. Gregor Juno, the President of the World Union of Olympic Cities, Ms. Felicite Marika from IOC, Mr. Masatoshi Ito, the President of TAFISA of Japan. I sincerely congratulate you on the holding of this important meeting here in Tokyo, Japan. I was informed that we will be hearing many wonderful presentations regarding sport in the world, as well as in Japan over the next 3 days. I hope that this Congress will be a valuable experience for you. I already learned from a previous speech. We are just now winding down from hosting the 2019 Rugby World Cup. There was so much excitement and energy all over the country, not only because of the Japanese national team's great performance, but also from welcoming and interacting with thousands of guests from all over the world. These results are encouraging as we prepare to host the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics and the 2021 World Masters Games. We would like to spread this heightened interest in sports to as many Japanese people as possible and make sport for all a reality. In the next several slides, we'd like to introduce our strategies for sport for all. Since the chair provided such a great introduction, I would like to skip my self-introduction. When I look back on my life as an athlete, I feel that competitive swimming helped me develop into the man I am today. My daily life was surrounded by sports, and I have no doubt that it was a large factor in my growth as a person. Ever since I was appointed as sports commissioner, I have been skipping the elevator and using stairs to get to my office in the morning, all the way to the 13th floor. When I have spare time, I enjoy swimming and jogging too. Currently, we are working hard to encourage busy working people to use early morning and afternoons as a time to do sports. For example, on a trial basis, we decided to open the Yoyogi swimming facility 3 hours earlier from 10 a.m. to 7 a.m. In just 2 months, we had approximately 2,000 people come to use the pool early in the morning. While we still do not have many facilities like this in Tokyo, this is proof that even just a small change, such as hours of operation, can make a significant impact. Sport in Life aims to naturally merge sports into our daily lives. As I try to live this motto, I hope that I can inspire many others to incorporate sport in life into their worlds. In the next few slides, I would like to speak about the mega sports events which will be held in Japan over the next few years. We just hosted the 2019 Rugby World Cup. After this, we will have the Tokyo Olympics and the Paralympics in 2020, followed by the World Masters Games Kansai in 2021. As I mentioned before, the Japanese national team performed very well at the Rugby World Cup, and this world event finished with great success. We received high praise from many people, including the Rugby World Organization. And now we'll host the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics next year in Tokyo, in 2020. Our nation is expressing high expectations for this event, including great performances from the Japanese athletes. Sports provide people entertainment and the power to enrich their lives. This means that it's not always necessary to play the sport yourself. The great performance of the Japanese national team in Rugby World Cup provided courage to us and touched many Japanese people's hearts. I believe that this is an example of the power of sport. I would expect that many of us will experience the same power of sport during the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics next year. Further, many people from all over the world will get together at the Kansai 2021 World Masters Games in order to enjoy playing sports. In other words, we hope that the Japanese people will be stimulated and inspired by the performances of the athletes of these games to make sports an integral part of their own lives. The Japan Sports Agency would like to share the concept of the power of sports nationwide and establish the spirit of sport for all, starting at the TAFISA World Congress held in Tokyo, Japan. Based on this background information, I would like to show the strategies for sport for all, which is the main theme of my presentation. First of all, Japan is facing a lack of exercise as a social problem. According to Lancet, approximately 50,000 people die every year in Japan due to lack of exercise. It is important to take medications in order to cure diseases. However, playing sports and exercise can improve a person's medical condition in many cases. The Japanese population is rapidly aging at rates which have never been experienced by any other countries. For the elderly, it is not uncommon for a trip and fall to lead to a fracture, being bedridden, and ultimately requiring further nursing care. Physical activity and sports are effective in strengthening the lower extremities, which can help prevent this chain of events. One of the major tasks of the Japan Sports Agency is to figure out how to increase the number of active people and active elderly people to address problems like these. This slide shows medical expenses spent by Japanese people. Based on the results in 2017, we spent 43 trillion Japanese yen, around 400 billion US dollars in medical expenses that year, which is equal to 1/3 of the national budget. I am very apprehensive of this situation. I believe that we can reduce medical costs by the power of sports, and this is another one of the many important missions of the Japan Sports Agency. To resolve these social problems, JSA is currently trying to increase the percentage of adults participating in sports activities per week by creating several policies. As you can see in this slide, ages 20 to 50 showed relatively lower level of sports activities when compared to other ages. The top reason why we people cannot or do not play sport is being busy with work or housekeeping. With this in mind, JSA is trying to promote several policies. In the next few slides, I would like to produce some of these initiatives. First, we started the Fun Plus Walk project. According to medical studies, the majority of lifestyle-related diseases can be prevented by walking 8,000 steps a day. However, many working people do not have enough time to do this. With this project, we are trying to help people naturally develop a habit of walking by encouraging even small period of walking in people's share time and combining it with something fun. This project is being promoted by partnerships from several companies and has many strong supporters. We are also promoting the project called Sport Gear Companies. We just showed you that people from age 20 to 50 exhibit relatively low levels of sports activities. With this project, we recognize companies that actively enhancing and encouraging sports activities in this population cohort as a sport gear company. Since we established this system, we have recognized 347 companies. For instance, a certain company appointed a professional soccer player, Yuto Nagatomo, as a sports aid officer to encourage their employees to take part in sports and increase physical activity. And many other companies have encouraged physical activity for their employees after adopting the Sports Air Company project. Lastly, I'd like to introduce you to the Sport in Life project that was started this year. This purpose of the Sport in Life project is to have as many people as possible become more familiar with sports and ultimately have sports become seamlessly incorporated into their daily lives. We hope that Sport in Life will be remembered as the legacy of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. This is a picture of me with Miss Naoko Takahashi from the press conference announcing the start of the Sport in Life project. Ms. Takahashi is a gold medalist for the women's marathon at the Sydney Olympics and has been appointed chairperson of the athletic committee of the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. In 2020, we would like to develop the Japan model, Tokyo model, and encourage increasing interest in sports, health, and control health care costs for citizens of Olympic host countries, and hopefully share this model with the world. In order to accomplish this goal, we will facilitate this Sport in Life project as a legacy of 2020 Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. The All Japan team will be cooperating with many local public organizations, sports organizations, economic organizations, and companies to achieve this goal. Thus far, I've discussed the problems facing Japan and how JSA is challenging these problems. We would like to create a world where each person is involved in sports of their own volition, where the society is constructive and vibrant, and a world where there is strong connection with one another. Finally, we would like to make sport for all come true in Japan by raising the value of sports and creating a noble legacy for the future. I'd like to conclude my presentation by asking each of you to think about sport for all and to enjoy this great opportunity for the next 3 days. Thank you very much for your attention.